Everyone needs time to themselves, and peaceful solitude can bring clarity and calm. But when isolation creeps in uninvited, or worse, is forced upon us, it becomes something far darker. At first, the silence feels manageable, but soon the absence of people, sound, and structure begins to erode us from within. Our stress hormones rise, and if that stress lingers, it turns chronic. Social interaction and meaningful activity aren't just luxuries. They're what keep our minds anchored to reality. Researchers call this social reality testing, the subtle feedback loop that helps us know what's real. When it disappears, the mind begins to drift. Thoughts spiral, impulses gain control, and the doorway opens to depression, obsession, and despair. Inside the brain, the limbic system, which regulates fear and stress, grows hyper-reactive. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the seat of judgment and logic, starts to shrink, making it harder to think clearly or remember. The balance tips from reason to emotion, and as days turn into weeks, that imbalance settles in. People become more anxious, more irritable, more prone to irrational bursts. Isolation also warps the body. It distorts time. Sleep becomes fragmented, heart palpitations, headaches, dizziness, even hypersensitivity set in. Appetite fades, and the stomach rebels under constant stress. One can try to cope, exercise, read, write, keep a routine. But these efforts are only partial shields. That's why the United Nations and human rights groups classify prolonged, forced isolation as a form of torture. And yet, thousands endure it every day. It's called solitary confinement. 22 to 24 hours a day in a small cell, alone, often without windows, without purpose. In the late 1700s, Quaker reformers proposed solitude as an alternative to physical punishment, a way for prisoners to reflect and repent, hence the word penitentiary. But it soon revealed its cruelty. Even Charles Dickens called solitary confinement worse than any torture of the body. Still, by the 1980s, as prison populations exploded, authorities turned to isolation again to control unrest. Many are placed there for minor acts, speaking out, disobeying, or simply being difficult. And for those who already struggle with mental illness, solitary magnifies every wound. Its scars last long after release. People who've endured solitary confinement are 3 times more likely to show signs of post-traumatic stress disorder. Many describe new anxieties, paranoia in ordinary situations, and a painful distance from others. Some states have begun to limit solitary confinement, especially for children, pregnant women, or people with serious mental illness. But the rules are uneven, and loopholes keep the practice alive. Solitary confinement doesn't rehabilitate. It isolates, damages, and dehumanizes. Other countries have chosen another path. Norway, for example, imprisons far fewer people and invests more in education, classes, and reintegration. As a result, it has one of the world's lowest rates of recidivism, proof that we heal and grow not in isolation, but in connection.